Hey everyone, we need to talk about something huge that's been making waves in the Genshin Impact community. We're talking about the 4 Fatui Harbingers set to appear in Nod Krai, and how this is tied to some massive new updates about version 6.0, the anniversary rewards, big changes to how story content is delivered, and even what the future of Genshin might look like overall. There's a ton to unpack today, so let's dive right in.
Who else is trying to pull for their favorite character, but the Primo gems just aren't enough? Don't worry. I've got a way to save money and get double the Genesis crystals. This is lootbar.gg. It works just like the in-game top-up system, but with up to 25% off, and new users even get a 10% extra discount. See this? The regular $100 pack only costs $81 on Lootbar, and each update they release an exclusive $72 bundle available for your first purchase every version. All you need is your UID. No password, no login. Just pick your bundle, select your server, and your crystals get delivered in about 5 minutes. Lootbar has awesome reviews. It's fast, secure, and trusted by tons of players. If you're planning to recharge for Genshin or Star Rail, don't waste your money. Click the link in the description or pinned comment and top up now with Lootbar. Safe, fast, and way more affordable. And don't miss that 10% off while it lasts.
First off, let's hit the big one. The main story for Nod Krai is going to span across 9 whole versions, including its prologue in 6.0. That means we're looking at a full arc from 6.0 all the way to 6.8, just like how Netlan runs from 5.0 to 5.8. So while it's not longer than Natlan, what's really striking is how much Hoyoverse is willing to stretch a region's story when it's deeply connected to major themes and key players like the Fatui. It really feels like they're continuing the trend we saw in Fontaine, pushing for deeper lore and making the narrative more emotionally and politically layered. And with that kind of time frame, there's a huge amount of room to explore complex character dynamics, especially with multiple Harbingers in the mix. Now, speaking of the Fatui, we're actually going to see 4 Harbingers involved in the Nod Krai storyline. 3 of them are already known: Columbina, Sandrone, and Dottore. And according to the latest intel, Columbina and Sandrone are expected to show up as NPCs right in version 6.0, which means the Fatui's presence will be established from the very beginning of the prologue. That's pretty unusual, actually. In past regions, it typically took a few patches before a Harbinger even made an appearance. The identity of the 4th Harbinger is still a mystery, and that leaves so much room for speculation. Who do you think could take that 4th spot? Maybe Arlecchino, if her story isn't completely wrapped up after Fontaine. There's also a small chance it could be Piero, especially since we're getting closer to Snezhnaya, and he's the very first of the Fatui. But even if it's someone entirely new, the fact that 4 Harbingers are active in the same region speaks volumes. Nod Krai isn't just a backdrop for the traveler's journey anymore, it's becoming a full-blown war front in the Fatui's larger schemes. And if 2 Harbingers are showing up in 6.0 alone, the pacing of the story could feel way more intense than any region we've had before. It tells me that Nod Krai isn't just another stepping stone before we get to Snezhnaya. It's likely the heart of the Fatui's deeper agenda. And given that Columbina is getting such special treatment, I wouldn't be surprised if her role is far more central than we ever anticipated. And when I say special treatment, I really mean it. Columbina is going to have her own standalone story quest, which is a bit of a twist because, get this, most character quests in Nod Krai will actually be merged directly into the Archon quest itself. That's a pretty major change from how Genshin usually structures its story. We're all used to having those separate side quests that give us personal insights into each new 5-star character, but now it looks like Hoyoverse wants to deliver those character moments right within the main storyline. This might make the Archon quest feel denser and more cohesive overall, but it also means we'll have fewer optional stories to explore. And again, Columbina is the only exception to this rule, which really raises the question, why her? Well, we actually have something of an answer. Along with her own story quest, Columbina is getting a dedicated marketing push. We're talking about a CM short video, a 3D animated short, and even a standalone character animation short. That's not standard, so clearly Columbina isn't just a mysterious character anymore. She's being positioned as an emotional or thematic anchor for this entire arc. Maybe her connection to the Sinner or her rumored ties to Celestia are finally going to play out here. Now, let's quickly chat about rewards, because we've got some promising but still vague info on that front. The anniversary celebration in version 6.0 will feature rewards and bonuses on par with or even better than what Natlan offered. Now that sounds good on paper, but we have to ask ourselves, is that truly enough? If you look at HoYoverse's other games like Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin doesn't really seem that generous in comparison. Star Rail is giving out 4 5-star characters in 2024 alone. Zenless Zone Zero gave out at least 2 S ranks, including a selector that lets players pick who they want. Compare that to Genshin's usual anniversary gift of 10 intertwined fates, a pair of wings, and maybe 1,600 primogems, and you definitely start to see the gap. But here's the kicker. This time there's also a mention of system optimizations coming during the 6.0 anniversary. This could mean improvements to daily commissions, resin usage, or even artifact management. Again, it's vague for now, but it sounds like they're using this anniversary to not just throw some rewards at us, but also to actually improve how the game feels to play. That's something players have been asking for years, and if HoYoverse finally listens, it could change the long-term experience of the game in a huge way. Circling back to the storyline itself, it's not just about new characters. The leaks mention that the main story will feature several already playable characters, not just Nod Krai units. That's genuinely exciting to me because one thing I've always wanted more of is seeing existing characters return to the spotlight. Tying them back into the overarching narrative makes the world feel so much more connected. Just to take a step back here, when you combine everything, the extended 9-version story arc, the 4 Harbingers, the significant shift in how quests are delivered, the very specific focus on Columbina, the boosted anniversary promises, and potential system upgrades, you really start to see that Nod Krai isn't just another region. This could truly be the turning point that sets the stage for the final chapters of Genshin's main story. It's already feeling darker and more politically charged than anything we've had before. And with so many high-level players moving behind the scenes, the Fatui, Celestia, even old playable characters, there's a ton of opportunity to raise the stakes, both emotionally and narratively. So, what do you think about all of this? Who do you believe the 4th Harbinger will be? Do you think Columbina is truly going to be the emotional core of Nod Krai, or is there another twist coming that we haven't seen yet? Let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you're all thinking, and if you want more updates like this as soon as they drop, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.